Hello everyone and now welcome to a 1v1 matchup between Robinson and SoKeR. This game taking place here on Autumn Leaves. Alright, already opening things up. I'm gonna restart the replay now, just so I get a backed out view. Alright, gonna go ahead and do it all over. Robinson versus SoKeR. Accidentally, well, just technical issues all the way around this morning, and well, my youngest daughter decided to cry and cry and cry until well, uh, I don't know, for a pretty long night actually. So a little bit more weary. Hopefully, you guys are gonna enjoy this Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match as Robinson opening up with a Priestess of the Moon. Same thing with SoKeR, and it looks like Priestess of the Moon strategy is gonna be strong with a lot of range units, archers, huntresses, and dryads, all really benefiting from that true shot aura. Robinson now making its way around here, going after this Forest Troll Trapper creep camp. Now going after these last remaining units. It is going to be Searing Arrow first coming in from Robinson over True Shot Arrow on the other side. What is the real difference right there? True Shot Arrow versus Searing, a True Shot versus Searing Arrow. Well, the Priestess of the Moon gets +3 damage bonus. Archers get an additional +2. Rounded, but the big difference is going to be the amount of mana that is needed in order to execute those attacks. Coming back around to that early on, the Priestess of the Moon, if it's able to burn through a bit more mana, does deal a bit more damage, as the Priestess of the Moon now landing those Searing Arrows onto that Archer, trying to rack up a bit of damage, and now pulling the back away as well. You can see that the Archer has taken quite a bit of damage there and going to continue to retreat back. Meanwhile, the Ancient of War already regenerating some hit points and should be training up some more units as well. Robinson setting up a second Ancient of War, as Moonwell construction is starting and will be transitioning into some more Huntresses here in just a moment. All right, looking at that, only a little bit of damage being absorbed by that Ancient of War. Remember, heroic damage does do reduced damage to fortified buildings. In games past, heroes were just able to dive on in and really just rack up too much damage onto buildings early on. As we're looking at the Priestess of the Moon now trying to retreat back here, there is a Shadow Melt. Is it going to be in time? Yes, it is. Damage is adding back up here. SoKeR may try and use a Dust of Appearance here in just a moment, or a reveal of some sort, as the arrows are going back and forth. Who's going to come out on top here? One thing to note is that the Moonwells of Robinson are going to try and replenish the hit points and the mana down across here. All right, waiting for that reveal right there. Archer Huntress is now going to make its way over, perhaps try and activate those units. There is the reveal there, as damage is going to start to add in. All right, a little bit of damage being added back and forth. Who got the reveal first? It looks like Robinson was able to reveal that Archer, as that Archer now tries to retreat back. Priestess of the Moon still holding steady and strong here, as there are a couple of Huntresses still ready to lie in wait and attack. All right, this is a little bit of a bad situation. What is Robinson doing? Robinson's just trying to simply run on by. He does end up saving that Archer, who was down to 32 hit points, as the Archers and Huntresses are still, running laps around the map. All right, second Ancient of War is training up units as well, so it is dual Ancients of War for Robinson. SoKeR doing the same exact thing, but Robinson's second Ancient of War perhaps a bit more out of the way, difficult to spot and find, as Robinson is lying in wait to try and surprise SoKeR here with this potential creep here. Priestess of the Moon now chasing after those Huntresses here. The two Huntresses here could try and go after the Null Warden, get in a little bit of experience and the items while they are away. Gonna go ahead and Shadow Meld once again. There is Dust of Appearance, but they are not being used currently. All right, are we going to look at a little bit of a creep jack here? Who got the kill? Priestess of the Moon got the kill there. More damage getting added up. You're looking at a low hit point Archer trying to retreat back there. Moonwell is being used once more. Going to go ahead and Shadow Meld. There's a reveal, as that Archer does get taken down. 5 Huntresses, 1 Archer getting taken down. A couple of Huntresses trying to retreat back. Robinson doing a great job, as they are going to go ahead and crisscross in the night here. Coming back around, Priestess of the Moon, well, looking to still get to level 2. At level 2 already on Robinson's, and that is going to be True Shot Arrow and Searing Arrow, or True Shot and Searing Arrow, as that damage adds up once more. SoKeR doing the same exact thing now, and SoKeR now having access to that mana, perhaps we'll be able to get in a little bit more damage once more as well. In a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, the Moonwell management is an important factor in the game. Currently, SoKeR is still filling up 3 of these Moonwells, with the 4th one being built. Meanwhile, down to the south, Robinson already has all of these, or had all of these Moonwells already peaked out in terms of capacity. Once the Moonwells are full, well, they obviously cannot get any more Moon Juice, and that's when you should already be trying to send units back to heal. All right, coming back through here, we're looking at the Priestess of the Moon, finishing off some more things. More Moonwells were drained, and well, you also need to balance your Moonwells to see which ones are being drained and which ones are not. You can see this one is now nearly bone dry, while the 2 off to the north are still full. And we'll see if that comes back to haunt Robinson, or if I'm making a big stink about nothing. Coming back around, Priestess of the Moon going to make its way down to the south here. You can see the Ancient of War already absorbing quite a bit of damage as well. Slow being cast across multiple units. Priestess of the Moon wanting to get to level 3 for that level 2 True Shot Aura, and a big damage bonus across all of these units here, already up to +4, and we're looking at 1-0 upgrades as well. We are still only sitting at Tree of Life. Glaive Throwers are here. You can see the Moonwells are now all topped off here. 85 here, and meanwhile, well, that's an additional bit of Moonwell that, or Moon Juice, that you could have had for an upcoming battle. Off to the north, who has the better situation here? The Moonwells are more full for SoKeR, and SoKeR still has some damage to try and recover, as the units are now making their way off to the north once again. Priestess of the Moon has Scroll of Protection, has Scroll of Healing, and now going to be going after this Ancient of War that's trying to produce a Glaive Thrower. It could get taken down very quickly here with the True Shot Aura and the Searing Arrows, adding in a lot more damage. Production is going to get cut in half for SoKeR, and that could potentially be a problem as that Ancient of War goes down. All right, with 1 Ancient of War down, 2 Glaive Throwers in the back, and a 3rd Ancient of War being picked up, we could be going into some Zeppelin play to try and pick up and drop off the Glaive Throwers against the Entangled Goldmine to try and halt their mining. Coming back across on the other side here, you can see 2 Glaive Throwers already offering a bit of protection, with a 3rd one perhaps underway. Priestess of the Moon trying to run around in circles, as we see a little bit of slow poison onto some of those other units as well. Coming back down, Ancient of War training up another Glaive Thrower. We are going to have 4 Glaive Throwers overall. Army sizes are about the same, as the units are going to be trying to retreat back. All right, that Goblin Zeppelin making up for the difference, recovering from that movement speed problem that many Glaive Throwers and many siege units have. As you can see, the Glaive Throwers are just going to launch an attack and then, well, pick themselves up if they are in danger of getting attacked right there. All right, picked up and dropped right there. Beautiful Glaive Micro here, as they're going to drop and pick up constantly. Scroll of Protection, Scrolls of Healing being used. Robinson going to end up losing 1 Huntress there, as both sides are fighting every which way. Wisp are being brought over by SoKeR. The Wisp are pretty much on auto repair, as damage is getting picked up and dropped back down. Even if you micro pick up and drop back down, the problem is going to be that perhaps the Glaive is already on their way over. 46 supply compared to 47, as we are seeing so much bounce damage across the board. Robinson losing a lot of Huntresses here. 38 supply compared to 49, as SoKeR is really pushing in a lot of pressure once more. Level 4 on that Priestess of the Moon. Level 2 Searing Arrows could really rack up a lot of damage, but fighting with Moonwells right behind you is always a very big bonus, as we're going to see another Glaive Thrower get taken down. Only 2 Glaive Throwers are left. Priestess of the Moon pushing in with a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, Scroll of Town Portal, and now SoKeR could have a little bit of trouble. He's trying to dodge out a lot of damage, as we're looking at, well, the Scroll of Town Portal bringing out that unit once more. What is SoKeR doing? Priestess of the Moon gets taken down, and the other Priestess of the Moon gets picked up and is going to stay alive. 28 supply versus 29. The home field advantage turning out to be a very big deal, as now we are looking at a bunch of Huntresses cleaning up the remaining units, and now level 5 on the Priestess of the Moon. All right, that is a very big deal indeed. Level 5 on that Priestess of the Moon. It needs to get healed back up, perhaps trying to use some sort of Moonstone, but not going to be able to do that, as the Priestess of the Moon has now been rehired and pushing back in once more. All right, we're looking at the Huntress trying to retreat back. No additional heals, as the, well, Searing Arrows, Priestess of the Moon trying to put in pressure. Glaive Throwers, repairs coming back in across from the other side. The Glaive Throwers are dealing plus 19 damage, as another Glaive Thrower gets taken down again. All right, you can see, oh, beautiful pickup right there, trying to save that unit again. Priestess of the Moon still racking up a lot more damage onto some of those low hit point units. More glaive throwers attacking over as well. Is this one Huntress going to be able to finish off one unit? Yes, finishes off one, going to finish off the other. And once it finishes off those last two Huntresses, things could go sideways quickly as SoKeR, sitting at level 4, now able to push back Robinson's level 5 Priestess of the Moon again and again. Repairs are in order. You can see the glaive throwers are trying to retreat back, but SoKeR is able to push across with a little bit of damage here. This glaive thrower looks like it was going to get taken down, but gets picked up instead, as still more Priestess of the Moons exchanging blow after blow after blow. All right, little bit of damage coming back through. Glaive thrower trying to finish things off, able to get that final blow there. Meanwhile, the Priestess of the Moon going to try to return the favor, and does exactly that. And while the auto attack is in the air, trying to exchange the blows, and beautiful micro coming back across as this Priestess of the Moon now looks to retreat once more. Down to the south here, SoKeR's one Huntress was able to battle it up against a large number of Huntresses, took down 2 Huntresses and a glaive thrower before finally falling at the hands of another Huntress as well. Crazy game so far between these two players. They are both still in tier 1. They are both using similar strategies, and it's really coming down to micro and execution. The big upside for Robinson is that he is sitting closer to level 6 since he got that hero kill. By getting closer to level 6, Starfall is a big possibility, and with no way to stun, well, Starfall becomes a very dangerous ability. Priestess of the Moon and Huntresses are now making their way back over. We're going to see, well, one of the Huntresses try to simply run on by, taking a little bit of damage before heading back home. Priestess of the Moon picking up a Scroll of Protection, Scroll of Healing, and Potion of Invulnerability. Coming back down still, where is the heals? Thank you, Chaos Frost, for the 2-year subscription. Wow, yeah. 2-year subscription definitely does help out. It keeps the lights on, or the internet running is more exactly, as the Priestess of the Moon now tries to retreat back. You can see only 3 Moonwells down here, and being down a Moonwell for Robinson could be the major setback, even though he has the larger army. Scroll of Protection now being used. Goblin Zeppelin overhead. Priestess of the Moon absorbing quite a bit of damage. Going to go ahead and pick up and drop off nicely as we see some detonations go down as well. Scroll of Protection is lost. Priestess of the Moon continuing to drop here as a little bit of damage coming back on through. Priestess of the Moon now going to try and get in some more damage here across multiple low hit point units, as the True Shot Aura is just an important bit of damage here, just constantly trying to drop and pick up units again and again. Searing Arrows could cause problems. Low hit point units, as the Priestess of the Moon tries to figure out what other units to try and take down. Low hit point Huntress now makes its way back off to the north here, as we're looking at just Scroll of Healing being used at the last possible moment once again. Thank you for the follow, as the Priestess of the Moon still engaging. We have a surround onto the Priestess of the Moon. The Priestess of the Moon does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, could use that quickly and then try and give that damage bonus off to all of their other remaining units, as the Huntresses are still nearby getting in some decent fighting. Thank you for the... All right, I guess I got to do one more game. And thank you for the host, I'm assuming, back to WarCraft here, as the Huntresses are now trying to retreat back. This has been a game of micro. Priestess of the Moon and Huntresses going up against each other, exchanging back and forth. But we're looking at Robinson's Priestess of the Moon nearly at level 6. Coming back down across over here on the bottom side, Priestess of the Moon still trying to finish off the rest of these buildings. Robinson low on Moonwell is not going to be able to heal all that much. And, well, the Huntresses are going to engage once more. Priestess of the Moon purposely tries to back away and then hides itself, allowing some free hits on some run by Huntresses, but they are able to be healed up by those Moonwells once more. Priestess of the Moon of Robinson down to 128 hit points, down to 111, little bit more damage. Potion of Invulnerability being used. Both sides using those potions of invulnerabilities in this a true mirror match. Both sides continuing to add in a little bit more damage, but there is Starfall, and that Starfall difference is going to, well, land a couple of attacks and prevent the ongoing attack coming in from SoKeR. SoKeR retreats back. Gonna perhaps buy some Scrolls of Healing, Scroll of Protection once more, head off to the north. These Moonwells are pretty much all full to the brim. He can go ahead and try and refresh itself again, as there is, it looked like a Scroll of Healing was used, and then another one was purchased. So SoKeR may be able to follow this up once more. 1-1 upgrades. Level 6 on Robinson's Priestess of the Moon. Is that going to be the big difference right there? A little bit of damage. A couple of Huntresses could get taken down. There goes one Huntress as well. SoKeR just trying to run around. But SoKER's Huntress is also able to get in a lot of those engagements as well. SoKeR, is he going to be able to keep alive on that Priestess of the Moon down to 170 hit points after the Scroll of Healing, as the units are still trying to retreat back here? All right, SoKeR looks like it was getting in some free attacks across multiple units as Robinson was chasing and committing after SoKER's Priestess of the Moon. As another Huntress gets taken down, we are now looking at SoKER's Priestess of the Moon nearing level 6 as well. Level 6 Priestess of the Moon, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, trying to perhaps head back away. Going to go ahead and split back apart, but SoKER is doing a good job splitting his army all across different places. And now going to go ahead and try and engage here. All right, damage going to add back up. Meanwhile, off to the north, we're looking at level 6 as well, getting that level up and now having access to Starfall. All of these Moonwells are just going to completely fill up SoKER's Priestess of the Moon, and now this game is a completely different story as Robinson is in retreat back. We're looking at Huntress is trying to retreat. Stafflet Teleportation coming back down to the south. This is going to be a big damage bonus here as well. And are we going to be looking at Starfall? It looks like we are. Starfall in the base of SoKER to turn things around. Robinson unsure of what to do as all of the infrastructure that Robinson has been trying to hold on to for so long is just taking pelting after pelting of damage again and again. Well, thank you for the follow, Edge. Meanwhile, back off to the north here, Robinson, unsure of how to engage here as the Priestess of the Moon is still under that Starfall attack, able to push in pressure. Normally, I would say stun the Priestess of the Moon or fight somewhere else and wait for it to pass. But when the Priestess of the Moon is inside your base, not much really can be done as the Starfall is still raining in from the sky. Moonwell after Moonwell now gone. Robinson now down to one Moonwell left, upside down on supply, and home field advantage just doesn't feel the same. There's a Scroll of Protection, Scroll of Healing across, or a Scroll of Protection on both sides. Priest of the Moon trying to retreat back out. He does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, uses it really quickly, and now going to continue to fight its way through. Priest of the Moon able to sneak back out. SoKeR uses another Scroll of Healing, putting in pressure across all of these Huntresses once more. Level 6 versus level 6, pretty much even, or no, SoKeR with the supply advantage as the units are now trying to retreat back as the Scroll of Protection could be coming to an end here. More damage still trying to add back up as more units are getting in onto the battle. Robinson still trying to desperately chase after SoKER's Priestess of the Moon, allowing free damage onto Robinson's Huntresses as they run by, and that's been the story of this game. Robinson trying to focus down SoKER's Priestess of the Moon, knowing that that is one way to close out the game early, but then SoKER's Priestess Huntresses able to get in some free shots onto some units running by, and eventually just winning that war of attrition. Should have gone to SoKER's base and used Starfall 2. That could have worked, but Starfall was still on cooldown. I think it still had another 40-second cooldown on Starfall, and by the time that came to an end, they would have been able to just teleport back off to the north. All right. Robinson trying to rebuild what he's got. 32 over 30 supply. We are at Tree of Ages, but no, and so that is going to give a little bit of an experience advantage compared to Tree of Life. I don't see any upgrade advantage. 1-1 on both sides, even though Robinson does have the option to try and get level 2 upgrades. Robinson may actually consider that, considering that he was not able to find a way to spend any gold, as now SoKER comes back in once more, putting in with a lot of pressure. All right, Sentinels revealing all of these low hit point Huntresses in the middle, and if the game wasn't over before, I believe Robinson should be able to close it out here in just a second. Priestess of the Moon dropping in Starfall as a bit of protection as the units are trying to retreat back here. SoKER says, you know what? I don't need to stick in this fight. I can wait for your Starfall to come to an end and then push with my own again. And that does seem to be the case. The Priestess of the Moon may try and buy some more items from the merchant shop and then repeat that strategy once more, as there's only 500 gold, 50 seconds of mining left on both sides. Dual potions of lesser invulnerability, a Scroll of Healing ready to push on in. We're waiting on Starfall to come to an end here. Robinson's Starfall does finally come to an end, and now SoKeR says, well, two can play at that game, and I can play the game better, as we see a low hit point Huntress already backing up there. That was actually a very, very aggressive use of Scroll of Healing, as many of the Huntresses, well, I guess none of them were really in, well, at the full. All right, we're continuing to push in. SoKeR continuing to push on in here. We could be looking at Starfall being used. I'm wondering why it's not being used just quite yet. There is still, the cooldown has come to an end on Starfall, as there you are. There's that Starfall here, and damn, what? All right, Starfall was used, and then SoKeR moved his Priestess of the Moon, perhaps concerned about the situation. So SoKeR actually cuts his own Starfall short, I believe. I thought that was Starfall. Viewers, please let me know if I was just seeing things, as the Priestess of the Moon makes its way back off to the north again, trying to pick off more units. There goes another Huntress getting taken down. We are looking at 6.7 compared to 6.4, as SoKeR finishes off the Hunter's Hall, and now Huntresses are no longer going to be able to be trained. It looks like SoKER's that one Starfall, able to rack up so much damage and take down so much buildings, will be the defining moment in this battle, as SoKER now tries to retreat back down to 84 hit points, down to 32 hit points, down to dead. All right, I take it back. Robinson able to finish off, and well, he continues to go all in after that Priestess of the Moon and finally gets its target. What is important to note is that the gold mines are completely mined out at this point in stage in the game. Robinson losing a lot of these Huntresses, forgetting the simple fact that there's Sentinel Scouts all over the place, able to constantly reveal those units. All right, Priestess of the Moon now trying to retreat back. 316 gold compared to Robinson's 167. Robinson going to perhaps try and heal up a little bit more from these Moonwells. Meanwhile, the Tree of Life now needs to make its way down over here to start entangling this gold mine before it can even hope to try and resurrect that last unit. All right, Huntresses are coming back around. Priestess of the Moon going to try and do a quick run by, grab some Moonwell juice, as the Tree of Ages here should actually be uprooted and trying to engage as well. Being able to fight with that Tree of Ages, 49 to 60 damage is a big bit of damage, as the Priestess of the Moon able to, well, throw down some Starfall and offer a bit of protection here. Meanwhile, the Huntresses are continuing to put in pressure. Are we going to see another Huntress get taken down? Yes, we are. SoKeR still has the larger army. Robinson finally got what he was hoping for, to take down the opposing Priestess of the Moon, but at what cost, as the Tree of Ages really should be uprooted to try and join in on this battle. All right, this Ancient of War is also uprooted as well. Both sides should be trying to fight. Not quite sure what is happening here, as this Huntress is going to be taking actually quite a bit of damage and able to escape back. Entangling gold mine not yet done. All right, if SoKeR is able to get his Priestess of the Moon back in play, all bets are off on who's going to win this game, as Robinson now trying to lead the charge. That Priestess of the Moon with plus 18 damage, not including Searing Arrow, hoping to finish off more and more of those units, trying to pick off those units one at a time. 134 hit points or down to 67. Yeah, so each of those shots are dealing nearly 60, 70 points of damage. One more arrow would do it, and unable to get that last final shot off, as we see some beautiful micro by SoKeR in this Huntress mirror match. Priestess of the Moon still trying to retreat back here, trying to come back around. We are looking finally at the entangling of that gold mine completed and getting perhaps a resurrection on the Altar of Elders. That's going to take a little bit of time. Priestess of the Moon now making its way back off to the north here. We're looking at the Tree or Wisp now being brought over as well. Tree of Ages should really have uprooted a long time ago. We are looking at an Ancient Protector down here, and that's going to offer enough protection. I believe Robinson will be throwing in the towel here in just a moment. All right, Priestess of the Moon now making its way back down here. Huntress able to freely get shots off on this Tree of Ages. Uprooting it would have been a much better call a lot longer, as now the Priestess of the Moon is back out here ready to perhaps try and offer a little bit of salvation and help here. Priestess of the Moon continuing to retreat back. Little Searing Arrows coming back around, adding in more and more damage. Each of those arrows does 65 some odd amount of damage, and trying to just still continue to rack up that damage here again and again. One Huntress could get taken down. 2 more arrows will be needed. 1 more arrow will be needed there. It finally gets taken down. Meanwhile, the Tree of Ages is exchanging blows and is actually still alive for a little while, as we're looking at another Huntress about to get taken out again. All right, Priestess of the Moon trying to retreat back and still trying to fight back once more and more. And Robinson finally says GG, knowing that he simply cannot hold on long enough. Robinson finishes off his opponent's Priestess of the Moon, but, well, unable to translate that into victory, even though both sides were mined out. Robinson continually focused fired SoKeR's hero and hoping to take it down and having that be the deciding factor. Ultimately, in the end, he was able to take down the hero, but at the cost of a handful of huntresses. The remaining huntresses of SoKeR were able to get the job done and finish off the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.